Hey, what's going on? It's your favorite host in the entire world, Jordan Harris. This is Sports Truth. I've got a couple of updates that I want to talk about today. Two different players, two different transfer portal situations. So we'll cover both of those today. But also, before we get into that, I want to talk about something that happened not on one of the videos, but in the comment sections of some of the most recent videos that we've posted. And I want to discuss that real quick because there were some lessons learned in there. I learned some lessons, and I'm sure you all could learn from it as well. Um, as you know, I'm not a huge fan of the player Jayden Harris, what he's done on the field or what he put on film this past season. Not a huge fan of it. I don't think that he performed very well at all. I did say in the videos that he is he's probably the worst starter that I've seen for the Hurricanes ever. As far as I can remember, I've been a Hurricanes fan since 2002. I can't remember a player performing that poorly as a starter for the whole year. I said that. I mean that. I don't plan on taking that back. I did get a comment from Jayden Harris's mom. A few comments actually. The first comment, she was pretty upset. Obviously, she felt like I was too harsh on her son. She thought that some of the things that I said may have been unfair. Um, she threatened to potentially do some type of lawsuit or something at some point, which I explained like any of my attorneys would tell you that defamation lawsuits don't work like that. But anyway, um, I'm not mad at her for that, to be honest with y'all, because she's doing probably what I would be doing for my son or for my nephews or for my daughters. It's taking up for her kid. I actually appreciate that. I can respect that a whole lot because there's a lot of kids in this world who wish they had moms and dads and just parents in general who would take up for them like she's taking up for her kids. So I can really appreciate that. Um, she ended up posting on the next video that I made saying "Go Dogs" on it because Jayden Harris apparently is going to play for Georgia. So God bless him with that. So again, I explained to her first I was surprised. I'm like, "Oh, you're back." So I just told her um, there's no ill will, there's no ill intent coming from me. That's just not who I am. But I do judge these players based on the profession, not the person. All right. I don't look at the personal stuff. I don't know these players. I don't know them personally. All I can do is judge them based on what they show on film. So I judge and critique the player. I don't judge and I don't critique the person. That's God's job, right? So I just explain that to her. Like, I'm not after your son. I'm not here to take your son down, like she said in the post. That's not who I am. I don't care to do that. I don't get anything from it. They don't get anything from it. Um, so the thing that I did learn though from this whole situation is to make sure that I put more emphasis on stressing the fact that I am not talking about the people who are in these uniforms. I'm talking about the player that I see on the field. So again, if I see a player who performs as bad as I've ever seen a player perform in a Miami Hurricanes uniform, I will say that. I'm not talking about the person. I don't know them as a person. I'm talking about the player. So I'll do a better job of stressing that because apparently I wasn't clear enough in that situation. But again, like I said earlier, I do appreciate the fact that she's taking up for her son. I think that's pretty cool. I know my mom would take up for me like that. I know my dad would do the same, and I know I would do the same for my kids. I know my wife would do the same for our kids. So I'm not mad at her. She's probably still mad at me, and that's cool. But I do wish her son the best. I really do. Um, I pray that he does get to the NFL like she says he's going to. I would not be shocked if he did. He has potential. He has opportunity to develop. He's playing for one of the best, probably the best um, teaching programs that you could go to in the world, right? So I'm not mad at that. So God bless him. I hope he does well. I do want to thank y'all though. If any of you did see that comment in the comment section, I appreciate that you left it alone and didn't dogpile on and didn't talk negatively about her son to her. Please don't do that. I appreciate the fact that y'all just let it go, looked at it, and just went and did something else. Like, I appreciate that because we don't want to be jumping on people and talking negatively about them if they're super involved emotionally, which she obviously is. So thank y'all for that. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get into the players that we're talking about. The first one is Jayden Maiva. So we've got an update on him from USC. It's kind of a weird situation. Um, Actually, a really weird situation, mainly because there was so many people tying him to the Hurricanes, and he hadn't even gotten to the portal yet. So it's weird, right? Um, the new details that came out though are the fact that, for one, they just received. All right, sorry, I'm in this doctor's office, and one of the nurses just came in. But anyway, just received a 5 star, a commitment from a 5 star quarterback. I can't think of what his name is off the top of my head, but he just committed a couple of days ago. So that's going to put more pressure on him. And a lot of these kids, they don't want to compete. They love to have opportunities rolled out for them. They love to have the red carpet rolled out, kind of like what someone would receive if they transferred to the Hurricanes. To be honest with you, so he did just have a 5 star quarterback just commit out of high school. Also, there's a 5 star commit. He was one time a 5 star commit, and this is Heward transferring from Utah. So he has experience in college football. He was a 5 star. His dad was a NFL quarterback, Heward. So now there are not just a couple. Now there's not just one or two 5 stars. There's multiple 5 star quarterbacks in that room. So he might be wanting to dart out. Another thing is that he switched his NIL management firm just yesterday, I believe it was. Today is January 7th. I believe he switched it on January 6th. So you can look at that in multiple ways, obviously, but people have rumored him to be interested in Miami. Multiple quarterbacks are coming in who have 5 star credentials. He switches his NIL management all of a sudden. It kind of looks like maybe he's bracing for bracing to exit, but at the same time, getting a new NIL management group could also mean that he is working on a new deal with USC. So we don't know. We'll see. Next player we're going to talk about is Xavier Lucas. So this is another weird situation coming from Wisconsin. He was a 4 star player coming out of high school. He was at American Heritage High School, which I'm sure a lot of y'all have heard of that school, right? Um, the reason why this one is so important to Miami, and part of the reason why this one is so weird, first, he's not in the transfer portal yet, but there is a crystal ball prediction on 24/7 saying that he is going to come to the Hurricanes. He's a 6'1" cornerback, and it's been said multiple times that Mario Cristobal is like primarily focused in this transfer portal era. He's focused on getting not just corners, not just safety, but corners and safeties that have range, big corners and big safeties. And if you watch that Syracuse game, you could probably understand why he's looking for size. As many jump balls and back shoulder throws as they threw to us or threw at us, it would make sense to go out and just get bigger on that defensive back in that defensive back room. So um, if you're wondering like what is this crystal ball prediction and like why is that important? Like why is it important that somebody gave a crystal ball prediction for Xavier Lucas coming to Miami? What the crystal ball predictions are is say if a media insider gets some kind of inside information from one of these players or players' family saying, "Oh yeah, Xavier Lucas, he's definitely going to Miami. Trust me, we've already made the decision. He's going to Miami." That media personality has the opportunity to go to 24/7 and say, "I'm going to make a crystal ball prediction that Xavier Lucas is going to Miami." The reason why that holds so much weight is because that crystal ball prediction, it actually follows these media personalities for the rest of their career. So if they get one wrong, it's a huge blip on their radar. It kills their credentials, right? Their credibility kills it. So you want your crystal ball predictions as a media personality to be 100%. That's what you want it to be. And some of these folks, you'll see them put a crystal ball prediction on there, and it's only 50%. And people are like, "Well, I'm not going to listen to that because he's already gotten multiple wrong, right?" So this person who did the crystal ball prediction, he has a 100% prediction rate on his. So you can almost book it, basically, is what I'm saying. But the reason why this one is so weird is because Wisconsin's coaching staff will not release him. He's already put a post out. He's put comments out. He's tweeted out saying, I want to be in the transfer portal. Wisconsin will not grant me that wish. They will not let me leave. What's come out recently is the coach is saying that they're frustrated with tampering issues. So now, as a way to punish the player, I guess, and the schools that are tampering, he's saying this player is not going anywhere. So, what's happened recently, actually today, is he ended up hiring an attorney. So the attorney ended up putting a statement out, and that statement said, and this is the statement from the attorney. It says, I've contacted the NCAA demanding that it enforces its rules, which require Mr. Lucas's name to be entered into the transfer database. If Wisconsin doesn't budge, then we will escalate this matter into litigation. So it might get ugly on that side of the fence. I don't know. Um, to me, it seems like it would definitely behoove Wisconsin to go ahead and just be done with this whole situation and let the player leave. Another part that's even more strange about this situation is Wisconsin's not allowing this player to leave, but they just accepted a player from the Hurricanes, which is really weird. Um, the last thing I want to talk about is the tampering stuff. So I don't know what the NCAA can do about all this, but it's looking kind of crazy. Like there's players who are still on rosters, but they're rumored to go. Hello. If you believe it, that was the same nurse that came in on the other side. But anyway, we got to do something about the tampering because there's teams like, or there's players like Ewers from Texas, right? They say that he already has I think it was like an $8 million offer from a Big Ten school. And I'm saying, how can that be possible if you're actually playing right now for Texas? Like, how can that be? And then, and then hell, I'm a Miami Hurricanes fan, but I'm like, if Xavier Lucas is already talking about coming to the Hurricanes, but he doesn't have his name in the portal, then when did these conversations happen? It's all, I don't know what the NCAA can do about this stuff, but something's got to happen with this tampering. It's weird, man. I don't know what's happening. But that's all that I got for y'all today. I appreciate you watching the video. Please do like the channel, subscribe to the channel. Um, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I truly appreciate that. So take care. God bless. Peace.